First Diddy, now Zion. What's going on with these millionaires turning their mansions into horror movie sets? For years, Zion Williamson was supposed to be the NBA's next unstoppable force. Part Shaq, part LeBron, part human highlight reel. But in 2025, he's making headlines for everything except basketball. And not just any headlines, we're talking about disturbing accusations that sound less like a player's offseason and more like an episode of Law & Order. Zion Williamson, once the NBA's most hyped draft pick since LeBron, was now being accused of something far more serious than missed games. A woman known as Jane Doe filed a lawsuit in Los Angeles, accusing Zion of rape, assault, and a long list of disturbing behavior. And this wasn't about a one-time incident. According to the filing, it was a 5-year relationship that spiraled into a twisted cycle of control, violence, and fear. She says it started back in 2018, when Zion was just starting his rise at Duke. By 2023, she claims she was stuck in a toxic relationship filled with verbal threats, emotional breakdowns, and physical abuse, from choking and smothering to allegedly threatening her family's safety. The lawsuit paints a picture that's as disturbing as it is surreal. And here's where it gets even darker. Jane says some of these incidents happened in Beverly Hills during the COVID lockdown. She claims Zion flew her out, then turned violent behind closed doors. One night, she says she tried to leave his house, only for him to block the door, call her stuck up, and demand sex. When she refused, she alleges he pinned her down, held her hands behind her back, and raped her. The second alleged assault? Even more chilling. According to the complaint, she told Zion she wanted to visit a friend in San Diego. Instead of a calm conversation, she says he exploded, throwing things, screaming, and eventually slamming her to the ground before forcing himself on her again. But this isn't just about 2 horrifying nights. Jane's legal team says this was a long pattern of abuse: sexual, physical, emotional, and financial. According to the filing, Zion isolated her from friends and family, took her phone, controlled her money, and even used his fame as leverage to silence her. And while the court will decide what's real and what's not, one thing's for sure: this lawsuit has already flipped Zion's world upside down. Within days of the lawsuit going public, his attorneys issued a fiery statement denying everything. According to them, the accusations were not just false, they were dangerous, reckless, a blatant attempt to exploit a wealthy athlete. But that wasn't even the wildest part. His legal team claimed this wasn't the first time Jane Doe had come forward. They said she'd already been through 3 different law firms, each time trying to squeeze a settlement out of Zion behind closed doors. When that didn't work, the lawsuit dropped. Zion's camp says they were prepared for it. Not only did they deny dating the plaintiff, but they described the relationship as casual, brief, and long over. According to them, Jane didn't raise a single concern during their time together. Not a text, not a call, not a whisper, until, they claim, she started demanding millions. And here's where it flips. Zion says he's the one who went to law enforcement first, reporting what he called extortion attempts. His attorneys even claim an arrest warrant was issued against Jane, not him. And they're not stopping there. Zion plans to countersue for defamation and emotional distress, aiming to flip the case on its head. Now both sides are digging in. Jane's team calls the defense a cover-up full of lies, while Zion's side says they'll expose the truth in court. But while the lawsuit might be new to the public, behind the scenes, there were warning signs of chaos long before anything was filed. Take April 2025, for example. While Zion was supposed to be focused on bouncing back from another injury, his name was splashed across the headlines for something totally different: a violent domestic drama that had fans doing double takes. Police in New Orleans arrested Akima Love, the mother of Zion's daughter, after she allegedly stalked, threatened, and attacked another woman romantically linked to him. Cops say she egged the woman's house, posted threats on social media, and later ambushed her at Zion's own place, leaving the victim with cuts on her face and a story that sounded like it came from a reality show gone wrong. But here's the kicker: this woman wasn't even involved in the rape allegations. That was someone else entirely. Zion's personal life was unraveling, one scandal at a time. And while the public kept asking, what happened to the next LeBron? The people closest to him were dealing with police reports, legal battles, and emotional trauma. Meanwhile, another woman, adult performer Mariah Mills, was lighting up Twitter with explosive claims. Threats, allegations, even talk of leaked tapes. Whether true or not, it painted the picture of a young star whose private life was spiraling into something way more dangerous than just bad press. And yet, all of this chaos was just the surface, because what Jane's lawyers said next took the story into truly disturbing territory. By now, it was clear. This wasn't just about one explosive lawsuit. According to Jane Doe's legal team, it was about a years-long pattern of psychological warfare, isolation, and fear. In their words, Zion wasn't just difficult, he was dangerous. Jane's attorneys described a relationship that started back when Zion was still at Duke, but it allegedly turned toxic fast. Over the years, the abuse, according to her, wasn't just physical or emotional. It was sexual, financial, and at times terrifying. She claimed he controlled where she went, who she talked to, and even took away her phone and laptop after arguments to stop her from calling for help. One of the most chilling accusations? That he choked and smothered her more than once until she genuinely feared for her life. And it gets even more disturbing. In the lawsuit, she alleges Zion threatened her family, stalked her, and at one point, allegedly brandished a loaded firearm during an argument, using his fame, money, and security to isolate her completely. Her lawyer, Rachel Lanier, didn't hold back, saying, "This case shows a disturbing pattern of coercive control, threats, and domination." Only after months of medical treatment and counseling was she able to come forward and describe what she endured. To be clear, none of these allegations have been proven in court. Zion's team continues to deny every part of it. But the specificity of these claims, combined with the mounting chaos in his personal life, has people asking, how much of this is smoke and how much is fire? Because just when it felt like this story couldn't go any deeper, the timeline of events threw everything into question. According to Jane Doe, everything changed in fall 2020, right when Zion moved to Beverly Hills during the height of the pandemic. That's when the first alleged assault happened, and the details are horrifying. In the lawsuit, Jane claims she was picked up from a hotel by someone she describes as Zion's agent, taken to his home, only to find he wasn't there. Hours passed. Then, late that night, Zion finally returned. She says she tried to leave, but he turned cold fast, called her stuck up, then a bitch. Then, according to the complaint, it escalated. Zion allegedly pinned her on the bed, pulled her hands behind her back, and raped her. The second alleged assault happened just a month later, and the story is just as disturbing. This time, she says she told Zion she wanted to visit a friend in San Diego. That's when, according to her, he snapped, screamed, threw things, then, in a rage, allegedly picked her up, slammed her to the floor, and raped her again, this time more violently. Afterwards, she claims, he took her phone and laptop, cutting her off from the outside world. To Jane, these weren't isolated incidents. They were part of a pattern, one that included control, emotional abuse, and constant threats. But Zion's legal team, they fired back hard. Not only are they calling the entire case false and reckless, they're saying Jane is twisting the truth for money, accusing her of extortion and claiming she never even dated Zion in the first place. And that's what makes this case so explosive. On one side, a woman claiming years of silence, fear, and trauma. On the other, a global superstar with a reputation on the line saying he's being targeted for cash. But here's where it gets even more complicated. As the allegations exploded across the internet, Zion's legal team didn't waste a second. They came out swinging, not just denying every claim, but flipping the script entirely. According to his attorneys, the woman behind the lawsuit wasn't a longtime girlfriend, not even someone he seriously dated. In their version, it was a brief, casual relationship that ended years ago, with no signs of abuse or complaints during or immediately after. So what changed? They say money. Zion's lawyers allege that after their relationship ended, Jane suddenly demanded millions of dollars, threatening to go public with damaging claims. And here's the twist. They claim Zion reported her to law enforcement for extortion. And the most shocking part? According to his attorneys, an arrest warrant was actually issued, but not for Zion, for her. If that's true, it could reshape how the public views this case. Zion isn't just denying the allegations, he's preparing to sue her back for defamation and damages. His reps called the lawsuit a reckless smear campaign, insisting it's all a money grab from someone who's cycled through multiple lawyers. They say she's trying to cash in on Zion's fame, and that her story falls apart under scrutiny. But Jane's legal team isn't backing down. In fact, they're doubling down. They claim there's witnesses, medical records, and corroborating evidence behind every word of the complaint. And they say Zion's version is full of misrepresentations, meant to silence a woman who's finally found the courage to speak up. Now, both sides are headed for trial. One of the biggest names in basketball is staring down serious allegations, and a potential counterattack in court that could get even messier. Zion Williamson's journey from college phenom to NBA superstar was supposed to be a slam dunk, full of highlight reels and championships. Instead, his story has become tangled in legal battles, serious allegations, and personal chaos that threaten to overshadow everything he's worked for. With a courtroom showdown looming and the public watching every move, Zion faces more than just opponents on the basketball court. He's up against his reputation, his future, and a spotlight that never seems to dim. Will he clear his name and return to form? Or will this storm leave a permanent mark on his legacy? What's clear is this: the story is far from over. As fans, critics, and curious onlookers, we can only wait and watch closely. Because when the dust settles, the truth will come out. And whatever that truth is, it will change the game forever.